Hey, how you doing? My name is Max, and in this video we are going to take a look at native instrument STRAYLIGHT and use it to create some dynamic background music for a video game scene. I've been playing some Rage 2 lately, and I think this plugin is perfect for some wasteland ambience. I'll be going through the sounds of the instrument and show you which presets I use to create the music. If you're interested in a more in-depth analysis of the project, check out my Patreon in the description. Also, if you like what I do, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future videos. The sounds in this plugin stem from these two layers, which each hold their own sample that can be manipulated individually. There's a browser where you can choose the samples from, and I believe there is over 350 of them in here. On the left side here you get a granular engine to play the sample, which lets you create sounds that move and evolve over time. On the other side there is a simple sample player which has a bit more basic controls like filter and envelopes. You also get 4 effect slots for each sample with 9 effects each that you can assign freely, additional delay and reverb as send effects down here, as well as 4 slots for master effects. One of the great things with this instrument is that basically every parameter you have seen can be modulated either by one of the modulators like the LFOs and shapers, or by the performance controllers, the macros and the XY pad, which is kind of the heart of the plugin and makes it really playable as an instrument, I think. You can even use things like aftertouch to modulate the sounds. All the knobs and controls can also of course be mapped freely to any MIDI controller. I will quickly skip through some of the presets of this library so you can listen to the kind of sounds that you will get. Now that you've got an idea of the sounds that I had to work with, I'll show you the gameplay clip without any music before I go into all the layers that I've written. So using some of the pad sounds from this library, the first element I created is an ambient layer that is going to be playing continuously in the background. I wanted to achieve something that creates an interesting atmosphere without getting too distracting or annoying when being looped for a long time. I've tried combinations of different sounds and layered them to create some additional movement and texture. The layers on their own sound like this. And played together, they sound like this. . To build onto this and to make the ambience a bit more interesting, I decided to put in a bunch of one-shot sounds. Again, I scanned through the presets until I had a selection of sounds that worked nicely with the layer I created before. One of the advantages of dynamic music for games is that you don't have to compose everything beforehand, so instead of rendering a finished layer, I exported all the one-shot sounds to trigger them randomly over the ambience layer. This ensures that the music seems to never actually repeat itself, thus attracting a lot less attention, which is exactly what we want for ambiences. If you want to learn more about these kind of techniques, make sure to check out my Patreon page in the description. Now I'll play some of the sounds I came up with for you. Lastly, for the battle sequence, I wanted to create an action stinger that goes into a loop to ramp up the intensity of the ambience when the player is fighting. I layered some hits for the stinger and a couple of synth sounds for the loop and got a pretty nice result. Okay, so with all these sounds and layers exported separately, let's take a quick look at my FMOD project and see how everything comes together. So I created a wasteland ambience event, which is basically holding all the 3 layers as loops. So this will always be playing and just providing the music loop in the background. In here is also the effects layer, which has a scatterer instrument, which is holding all the one-shot sounds I created. And what this scatterer instrument does, it spawns them based on the min and max spawn interval here. So the minimum spawn interval is 6 seconds, and the maximum interval is 12 seconds. So it's kind of random when a sound gets spawned, and also there is a little bit of pan automation, so the sounds don't always spawn in the middle. So for the action sequence, when the battle starts, this gets controlled by a game state parameter, which is between 0 and 1, 0 being the basic background ambience and 1 being when the player is in battle mode. So if you switch this to 1, you can see this here, then the pulse, which is the background layer that loops, gets to 0 dB, so you start to hear it, and as well as the stinger gets triggered. Now let's go ahead and play this. I will trigger the game state manually over here so we can see what this sounds like in action. That turned out pretty awesome, I think. If you're interested in downloading the sounds and use them yourself, I will also upload them to my Patreon. Now let's put the music to the gameplay clip and see what it sounds like. Okay, so I had a really fun time using Straylight, and I don't really have anything to criticize about it. I think I was able to get some very good results with relatively low effort, and that is due to the amount of great presets that is already in the plugin. Some of the other advantages in my opinion are the good playability out of the box, the unique flair of the sounds and how they all work together really well. Also, there is a good amount of controls if you're looking to get into the nitty-gritty sound design aspects. It's overall a great plugin and I already have been using it a lot, and that is probably not gonna change anytime soon. I hope you got a good idea of what you can do with this plugin and you also found some inspiration for your own music. Definitely let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this video and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.